There is no worthiness to prove. There's just going with the flow or not, going with the flow or not, going with the flow or not, going with the flow or not. And the more you go with the flow, the easier it is to continue to go with the flow. It really is simpler than you have all been making it out to be. Life is supposed to be fun. And what's in your vibrational escrow is magnificent. We've seen it. And we never stop, along with your inner being and all that you know is source, we never stop beating the drum of that which you have become. There is a light that is so bright and a call that is so loud, we never stop calling you toward it. And if you will listen even a little bit, you will hear the call of source. And it will sound like different things to you on different days. The honorier you are, the honorier it will sound. The better you are, the better it will sound. In other words, but you always know, you always know, you always know. We know that you always know. You can tell what feels worse and what feels better. You just haven't known how important it is to choose what feels better. And now you do. And for now, we will express to you our appreciation of that which you are. The universe cannot expand without the likes of you. And we appreciate you for what you've put into vibrational escrow. For future generations are being born on the stream of what you've put there. And we appreciate you for the struggle that you've lived in some places and for the ease with which you've lived in others. We appreciate you for the variety that you've lived and for the promise of the future that you've set forth for all of us. But most of all, we appreciate you for your willingness to come here to an environment like this and chew with us endlessly out here on this leading edge, helping us to find yet more ways to express to you the power of that which you are and to remind you that life is supposed to be fun. As you live as examples of those who understand and live the art of allowing, others will find you. Law of attraction will see to that. You have no assignments and no responsibilities. And that, in fact, is the reason that we are telling you the story of life in the way that we are here today. Because there are so many of you that are over here when you want to be over here. And you're applying processes. You're trying to do everything you can do to get over there. And what we want you to understand is that you can't jump over there. And even the effort or the wanting to get over there is counterproductive because it's not possible for you to get from here to over there. And so we think that the words that you've heard here today are just make an effort not to do that. Just try to withdraw the beating of the drum of what you don't want and let this natural stream turn you and then notice the relief that you feel. If you will let not bouncing off the wall positive emotion be your goal, but just relief. It's just the relief factor. I'm just looking for turning points all day long. I'm just looking for worse or better, worse or better. That's all I've got to do. Feel better, not worse, better, not worse, better, not worse. And what you will begin to notice is that just by applying that one technique, you know so much, and you've done such a good job of identifying what it is you want. And you have a stream that is moving very fast, so a little bit of negative emotion goes a long way with you. And you are just too critical of yourself. You're too quick to say, I'm not doing well. And in the moment you take score and say, I should be doing better, you turn upstream and everything gets harder. And that's why it feels like such a big slump, is because you become so hard on yourself. So now you've listened to us all day today, and we've said the same thing over and over and over again. Now we think it's more likely for you to be aware of that potential turning point. Really, friends, there are only, as far as you are concerned, in any moment in time, there are only two emotions. One that feels worse and one that feels better. You really don't have access to the emotion of joy or the emotion of agony or the emotion of appreciation or the emotion of despair. In other words, you don't always have those choices, and you don't ever have the choice of both of those things at the same time. You've only got the choice of feeling a little better or feeling a little worse. And it's all relative, isn't it? So when you decide that you're going to take this idea of relativity to heart, and you're going to factor out what others are saying or thinking. In other words, never mind what they're doing or how they're succeeding or what's going on in their life. The only thing that matters to you is your gap and your relationship with it. And you're always going to have a gap to close. So, in other words, life's going to keep causing you to ask for more. So there's always going to be something unfulfilled in the process of becoming. So when you make peace with the inevitability of there always being something more for you to go toward, and you become satisfied with the knowledge that you can at least turn in the direction of it, and you say, not only is that all that I can do, but it is enough. In other words, that's what life is. Life's not accomplishing this. Life is turning in the direction of it. Because as soon as you accomplish it, and even before you accomplish it, there's more, and then more, and then more, and then more. And you say, well, this is like a hoax, Abraham. It's like the carrot. It's on the end of the stick. And no matter how close I get to it, there's something else I want. And we say, yeah, pretty much. Except that what you begin to notice is that the carrot keeps changing. And when you get it, that it was never getting the carrot that life was about, but moving in the direction of the carrot that life was about. It's about letting life cause me to be more and then moving in the direction of that. That's where the satisfaction of life is, you see. So just play with this new idea for a little while, and we think everything will come into place for you. For a while, we called this gathering the science of deliberate creation. And you all got way too serious about it. I must deliberately create. I must make lists of things that are my goals, and I must hold myself valiantly toward only these ideas. And then you'd find yourself thinking a thought that you didn't mean to thought, and you go, suck, try to suck it back in before the universe got hold of it. And we say, oh, you worked far too hard when it was a science of deliberate creation. And so now we say, it's the art of allowing. It's the art of allowing yourself to be that which life naturally causes you to become. We say, it's a sure thing. It's a done deal. You cannot fail. And then you say, well, if I can't fail, then how do I prove my worthiness? And we say, that's our point. There is no worthiness to prove what to do. And it is our promise to you that what you're reaching for, and this is going to be a little hard to hear, but we want you to try to hear it anyway. What you're reaching for is moving with the stream of your desire, a very well-placed desire. There's nothing wrong with the picture you have of what you are wanting. So moving with the desire is what you're reaching for, not changing your bodily conditions. It's possible that once you get turned around here, in time, you're going to be perfectly happy with where you are, or maybe not. Maybe getting turned around is going to cause an effect on your physical body that will be more pleasing, but it's getting turned around that you're reaching for. We so much want you to hear it. It is not the physical change. It's not the more money that you want. It's the relief from not having enough money. It's not a better relationship you want. It's the relief from having a bad relationship. And the majority of that can be changed within a few days just by reaching for better feeling thoughts. Imagine an airplane in the sky. It's going 500 miles an hour, and it's high in the sky, 40,000 feet. And you're looking out the window and the landscape's going by and everything just seems nice. But if you put that same airplane on the ground at that speed, it would not feel so nice. And so we're talking about resistance. When your energy is moving fast and you begin to go with the flow, even if the stream's moving faster than you are, even if you're paddling a little bit in opposition, as you begin to let yourself move in the direction of the stream, the relief factor is viscerally obvious to you. And that's really what you're reaching for. We think you're reaching for the relief of that tension more than anything else. And when you achieve the release of tension, and when you let yourself, when your thoughts about your body begin to mesh with your dream about your body, now your body is as you dream it to be. And it happens with such ease that now you got a whole other set of problematic friends who say, it's just not fair. It's just not fair that you do that so easily when I have to struggle so hard to accomplish the same. And you say, please don't make me explain. I couldn't explain it. I just barely figured it out for myself. Just don't make me try to explain it. And in time, those who really want to know, Esther remembers going out to dinner years ago with this beautiful woman. There were several of them at the table. And this woman ordered 2 complete meals and ate them. And then she ate her dessert and everybody else's. And Esther said, how do you do that and look like that? And she said, food is my friend. Esther said, good, because you can't be mine. Just didn't seem right. But when you come into alignment with whatever it is you are wanting, when you come into alignment with your dream of anything, you have such resources from the universe assisting you that effortlessly you achieve it, you see. Effortlessly. Your effort and action is all meant to be the way you enjoy the creation that energy has created. You never, ever intended to create through action. There's not enough leverage in action to give you anything but a minuscule, paltry experience. And that's why there are a lot of people in what you call underdeveloped countries that are just not willing to put out that effort. They're happy. It feels so huge. But even when you have small things going on and you feel relief from it, that's satisfying too. In other words, your life is supposed to be good. And we expect that it will continue to get better and better. And so when you get it, that's the promise of what we all are expanding to be, then you say, well, I can sort of get that. I get that we are eternal and that life will go on and on. I just don't know where I fit into all of this. And we say, you fit in at the very hub of all of that. You and others like you. We do not think that you give nearly enough credit for the desire that you give birth to. Do you know? Look at it this way. So here you are living life in this time and in this space, giving birth to your version of what you think would be an improved environment, whether you're watching television or whether you're watching your neighborhood, living your own life. And as you give your perspective of what you think would be better, it goes into a vibrational escrow that is the promise of the future, because source energy becomes it. And future generations are born from that vantage point. So imagine the vibrational escrow that mass consciousness is creating. And then for a moment see that as the vantage point from which the new generations are coming forth. Can you see the value of what you are living? Can't you get it? That those who lived before you are partially responsible for the platform into which you were born? And so you can't get it wrong, even if you didn't know anything about deliberate creation, even if you didn't know anything about the stream or anything about your guidance system. So you just observed some things and felt good and observed some other things and felt bad. Even if you were a very indeliberate creator, creating life by default, as most humans are, you would still be contributing mightily to that vibrational escrow, and future generations would still benefit. And the eternalness of that which we all are would still be in place. And so we don't have to have a gathering to talk about that. That's just the natural evolution of the universe. That's just the natural becoming of the eternal creators that we all are. You don't even have to know anything about that. But the reason that we're here talking with you about it is because we think you should enjoy your head out the window. We think life should be fun to you along the way. We don't think that you should sacrifice your life in order to give birth to desires that others who are just being born will now have the knowledge of. We think you should receive the benefit of it now. So we think your question ties in absolutely perfectly, because your question is, how do I fulfill my reason for being? How do I know what my path is? And how do I follow that path? And we say, do you hear how big and important that question is? How do I get in on the natural evolution that I am causing to be? And we say, the way you do it is by deciding that nothing matters more than that you feel good. That while there are conditions and circumstances out there that you may very well observe that may be very fact-based, very full of truth, just because they're true doesn't mean they deserve your undivided or any of your attention. And so sometimes we tease Esther because we see that even Esther, in all of the years that she's been hearing us and allowing us to flow through her, even Esther sometimes would rather be right than feel good. She will gather the statistics and weigh the pros and the cons, and she will know that her perspective on it is right. Sometimes she will even get a hit on something, and she'll say, Abraham, is the way I'm seeing it the way it really is? Is that person really telling a lie?